Hi everyone, I'm HAO. So last year I was given an assignment which requires me to run a very compute heavy software, for example Docker desktop. And my laptop just start to freeze and show blue screens and sometimes even blackout. And it's a sign that my laptop just couldn't handle it. So instead of buying a new laptop, I figure out why not just rent a computer that's not only 10 times more powerful, but it is also cheap for my temporary usage. And that's where I found out AWS EC2. Do you remember the hassle of setting up your laptop from scratch? Well, with MI, you can create a template loaded with your favorite softwares and also settings so that you can start with your task right away once your server is ready. Note that AWS EC2 is built by hour or through a fixed price if you opt for the savings plan. And you can also minimize your cost by leveraging the AWS EC2's spare capacity, which is called spot instances. So it's important to balance between your needs and also your budget. You can start with a smaller instance like T2 Micro and then upgrade to M5 if your project grows over time. You might be worried that what if my website hosted on AWS EC2 becomes popular overnight? Well, you can opt into auto scaling, which can help you to spin up instances as needed, and you can have load balancer to spread the traffic across servers so that no single server gets overloaded. Furthermore, the reason we need a persistent storage like EBS is to prevent data loss when our server crashes or restarts. So now your server is up, and how do I connect to it? The recommended way to connect securely is using a PAM key instead of a password, so that hackers cannot brute force or guess your password easily. And you are also recommended to be very strict with your security rules so that only you and also the relevant resources can access it. Before you leave the AWS EC2 dashboard, I recommend that you set up AWS CloudWatch so that it can keep an eye on your server resource usage because some processors might require more power to run, which means you need to scale up your server. Or maybe you're facing a spike in your network request, which means that your server might be under a DDoS attack. And it's also wise to have AWS SNS in place so that you get notified when your certain acts a certain behavior and also trigger an action to resolve the issue quickly before your services goes down. For those in Malaysia, last year AWS Malaysia just launched their data centers locally, which means you can access their AWS services at a lower price and also lower latency. So whenever you need an extra or additional computing power, remember to utilize the AWS free tier. So that's all about AWS EC2. Thank you.